friends! My name is Desiree, aka Mama Friendly, and I do all sorts of videos on my channel, from cooking videos to planner videos, vlogs, hauls, homeschool videos with a Disney twist, a little bit of everything. So if any of that sounds like fun to you, I hope that you'll subscribe and join me on my YouTube adventure. Speaking of Disney, today I am bringing you a Disney park copycat recipe. I've released a new one every single month in 2022, which this kind of puts the cap on that, but I am planning to continue into the new year. The twist that I put on these Disney park copycat recipes though is that I always make them allergy friendly because I personally don't eat gluten, dairy, or soy, and I find that most, if not all, of the Disney treats we all look forward to at the parks and at the resorts tend to not be very allergy friendly. Don't get me wrong, Disney parks are some of the best places to eat when you have allergies. They're always very accommodating, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna get an exact replica of some of our favorite Disney park treats. If you follow along on my videos though, you can bring a taste of Disney right into your home and know that it is safe for you to eat. This month, since we're kind of all in the Christmas holiday spirit, I decided that I was gonna recreate the gingerbread bundt cakes from the PCH Grill in Disneyland. Sadly, the PCH Grill, which used to be at the Paradise Pier Hotel, is no more. They closed permanently last year. But these gingerbread cakes are famous. If you look up a gingerbread flavored treat at Disney online, you're going to find a recipe for these cakes. And so I decided to adapt it so that we could have it in an allergy-friendly way at home. As we go through the actual ingredient list and whatnot, I will be explaining how it was prepared originally at the hotel, but I'm also going to be telling you the swaps that I made to make it allergy friendly, and also even some other swaps you can make instead in case the stuff I used, for whatever reason, you can't or don't want to. Now this recipe made a dozen mini cakes, like single serving cakes. I'm gonna have the exact tins or baking pans that I used linked down below so that it's easy for you to just grab a bunch at once. I think I paid like 10 bucks for, I don't know, something like 20 or 30 of them. But the advantage of using the exact ones I'm using is that you know that barring some crazy change in altitude or something, you should be able to bake your cakes at the exact amount of time, the exact temperature that I used, and come out with the exact same result. So now that I've kind of set it all up for you, let me show you how I made my version of Disneyland's glazed gingerbread cake. For our Disneyland Central Bakery inspired gingerbread cakes, we're gonna start with 1 2/3 cup of flour. If you're using regular all-purpose flour, that's fine. We're using this Bob's Red Mill to keep it gluten-free. You also need a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of ground ginger, teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg. If you'd like, you can substitute these spices and just use pumpkin pie spice. That works as well. 4 large eggs, 3/4 of a cup of vegetable oil, 2½ teaspoons of zested fresh ginger, a 12-ounce bottle of amber lager beer. Now, in order to keep this gluten-free, I decided to go with ginger beer, and it worked perfectly, but there is going to be a note to follow, so we'll get there when we get there. You also need a teaspoon of baking soda, 2¼ cups of molasses. The bottle we had was 16 ounces, which is just 2 cups. We used the entire bottle and that worked just fine. 1½ cups of brown sugar as well. Traditionally, this is served with an orange vanilla sauce, but we're just going to be making a regular glaze with powdered sugar, a little bit of milk, and some vanilla at the end. Also, these are traditionally done in mini bundt cakes, but we happen to have these tiny little foil pie pans that I used for my flan recipe recently. If you'd like to check out how I made that flan, I'll post the video in the corner. I'll also have it linked in the description box. But what we're gonna do is that we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to spray all of our little pans, set them aside so that they're ready to go when our batter is. Next, we're gonna sift our flour, baking powder, salt, and either your pumpkin pie spice or your cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger. You're gonna put all this in a medium bowl and set it aside. Next, in a small bowl, you wanna beat your eggs, your oil, and your fresh ginger and set that aside. In a large saucepan, larger than you think you might need, please, heat your beer or ginger ale even, and you're gonna do that over medium-high heat until it's boiling. You wanna remove it from the heat at that point and slowly add in the baking soda. It's going to foam up. That's why you want a larger vessel than you think you might. But here's the note. The ginger beer specifically, which is what I used, is incredibly spicy to drink. It's even spicier when it's particulated all up in the air and you get it up your nose. So we were all coughing up a storm for about 20 minutes after this step, just because the very strong smell of spicy ginger beer was just lingering in the air. So keep that in mind if you're using ginger beer. Make sure that your kitchen is well ventilated. Otherwise, prepare yourself because it's gonna be spicy and you're gonna feel it all in your throat and your nose. So once your beer, ginger beer, etc. stops foaming, you're gonna add in your molasses and your brown sugar. Then you're gonna stir in your flour mixture that you had set aside, about a third of it at a time. Mix well after each addition. Lastly, you're gonna stir in your eggs until that's all combined. The batter is going to be very thin. We're gonna pour it into our prepared pans, fill each one about 2/3 of the way full, and that's about it. And we're gonna bake them all for 20 to 22 minutes until a toothpick inserted in the center of them comes out clean. We're gonna cool these completely before we move on to the next step, which is the glaze. And as I mentioned, it's just gonna be a simple regular glaze. We're going to whisk some powdered sugar, some milk, and some vanilla in a small bowl until it's smooth. If you like it a little thicker, add a little more sugar. If you'd like it thinner, add a little bit more milk, and just kind of adjust until it reaches your desired consistency. We're gonna flip the cake over onto a plate, drizzle it with some glaze, and serve. Enjoy your very own taste of Disney at Christmas time right in your home. There you have it, friends. That's how I made my glazed gingerbread cake a la Paradise Pier Hotel. It was actually really tasty. I'm going to confess something right now. I am a first-generation American. I did not grow up eating gingerbread. And actually, this might be the first gingerbread flavored thing I've ever consumed in my life. So I wasn't quite sure what to expect. The molasses flavor, the ginger flavor, I think especially the molasses though, hit you pretty hard in this cake. And I don't know, it feels like that's correct though. Like everything tasted very in balance, and it feels like even though I don't have any other gingerbread things to compare it to, this is what I imagine gingerbread is supposed to taste like. The cake itself was super moist. The glaze really kind of helped bring everything all together. And overall, it was super tasty. I can absolutely see this becoming a family favorite around the holidays. If you decide to make this for yourself, whether allergy friendly or otherwise, I'd love for you to come on back. Let me know how you like it, especially if you got to have the original version before the hotel closed down. I'd love to know how you think this recipe compares. I want to thank you so very much for being here and watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, I hope that you'll please give it a big thumbs up. I'd also love it if you would subscribe and click that notification bell, because I post at least 3 times a week, and I do intend to keep posting Disney copycat recipes into the new year. Wouldn't want you to miss a minute. Thanks so much again for watching. See you real soon.